Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
Bob, on this edition of the Camper Report Show, I'm going to be talking with two campers or RVers, whatever you want to call them. And they're going to tell us in their own words how RVing saved their life and their marriage. How about you?
That sounds really interesting.
It sure is.
I've got an interview with Scott Reid, the CEO of Dormeo USA, an Italian manufacturer of mattress toppers, and some great new technology, and it's a very popular product with RVers.
There we go. Those two stories, plus all the news of the day, coming up next, right here, Bob. Where are we?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody.
Sleeping on the short RV queen topper is as comfortable as sleeping at home. Now that we have the topper on there, it's made all the difference. It's really comfortable.
And the comfort comes from the fact that it's not too firm, nor is it too soft. It's kind of the right level of comfort for being out, especially when you're away from home.
Hey everybody, it's John DePietro. I'm here with Bob Zagami, and we're talking about the news items for the day in the world of RVing and camping. And Bob, both of us just got back from America's largest RV show in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So many things to talk about, but let's narrow them down to what do you think were the main points that you have taken away from the Hershey show?
Well, I think the big thing, John, was the attendance. It was their second largest attendance with 61,320 people. And, going into a show like that in our COVID environment, nobody really knew Heather Leach, who's the executive director of PRVCA. They just hope for the best. The manufacturers, the dealers, they just hope for the best. And everybody was pleasantly surprised. The doors opened, the lines were long, the people were buying. There was no trepidation on their part whatsoever, inside or outside the facility. A lot of new RVs on display, but it was an upbeat, and I think it truly sets the stage for all of the other associations and shows coming forward in the fall, the winter, and the spring. We've kind of broken through that barrier that says, hey, the people are back. We have plenty of product for them, and they are buying. And that was a highlight of the show, quite honestly.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing to keep in mind is that just prior to the opening of the Hershey show, the large RV open house, which was for dealers and industry personnel only, which was supposed to be happening very shortly after Hershey, was canceled. And I know there was a lot of fear in the minds of those that were running the Hershey show. Well, how are we going to do? But certainly we saw the lines. In fact, even on one of the days at noontime, 3 hours after opening, they were still lined up for a good 500 yards to go through security and visit the shows. Now, one of the things that I noticed at the show was that, for example, Winnebago, they had signs on all their units, no more than 3 people or one family allowed in the coaches at any one time. And I kind of just stood around and watched to see if people were observing that. And they weren't crowded into any units. Did you see that when you visited some of the other?
Yeah, I think that was General RV had that display, the Winnebago display, because all of these displays, once they open to the public, have been purchased by dealers. And General RV had quite a few displays that they purchased, and all of those, Integra was another one, and Redwood fifth wheels, they had those signs on all of the units. So that was more, I think, a General RV policy, perhaps, rather than Winnebago.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the years, this is probably about 10 years that I've been attending that show. I know you've been there many more times than that, but I can remember probably about 10 years ago, when you looked at the displays, the vast majority of the coaches on display were Class A, either diesel or gas models, but certainly Class A. And the Class Bs were just kind of like just there. You maybe saw one or two, maybe a road track.
You had to really look for them. Right.
Well, you know what? How things change, because it seems as though the opposite was true this time, where you saw more Bs and Cs as far as motorized is concerned, but obviously the towables were the stars of the show as far as numbers are concerned. But isn't that interesting to see that turnaround?
Well, it was, and it's a trend, for years, the industry, whenever you talk to the dealers, especially dealers that didn't carry Class Bs, they say, well, it's a niche product. And at that time it was only growing 2 or 3% a year. But the last 5 years, that category has been growing about 25% a year. And that's no longer a niche product. And that was proven by the amount of displays. It seemed like almost everybody who makes a motorhome now has more than one Class B or van campers. The van campers with the pop-up tops, very popular. Class Bs all over the place. 4x4 off-road Class Bs. You name it, they had it, and that was a really a significant increase in what we have seen in the past, and that reflects with the audience because we saw a younger audience of young professionals and millennials and Gen Zs who are buying those products.
Well, we certainly did see a younger audience, and I noticed a number of baby strollers that were there, and we were just there on Wednesday and Thursday, so it wasn't a weekend when families could, take their kids out of school. These were younger parents with younger kids, and again, a total reversal of what you would see during the weekday attendance in prior years. Another thing I noticed is I stopped into one of the seminar rooms, and before it started, I asked the people a few questions about how many of them were first-time RVers or looking to buy a first-time RV. And the vast majority of probably the 50 people in the room, their hands went up. So you've got new people entering the RV lifestyle, and that's certainly a welcome sign to the industry that the new buyer craze continues.
Well, and that's right. And that's another good side. Besides the fact that we got a lot of people and a lot of people were buying, there were, in fact, a lot of first-time people, first-time show, first-time buyers, which we've seen over the last 2 years. And we're very confident that that's going to continue for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's not going to stop once COVID stops or the pandemic stops. It's a trend. More people are discovering the lifestyle. More people are going to the shows. So I would say to every show promoter, get those shows up and running, because they're going to be right in that same situation where they may in fact break their attendance records this year with the number of people, the variety of people, the demographic spread, and we did see much more attendance from Hispanics and Blacks, so that we've been advertising into those communities, and they're adopting the lifestyle. So it's a good time for the RV industry. We've been saying that for months. Yep. But this really reflected it all in one place.
We've been saying that for the last 2 years. And the other thing that we can say now is that even though, and again, I found this out when I surveyed that seminar crowd, so many people sought information online beforehand, but you can look online, you can look at every picture imaginable, but in order to find the RV that's right for you, you need to go inside that. You need to touch it, feel it. You need to see the floor plan in person, as opposed to just one of those schematic diagrams. And any final points on Hershey that you want to let our audience know about?
I think the popularity of solar panels and lithium batteries. So the advancements in the technology are significant. The prices are coming down, and we went through that stage where, yes, you go back 3 years ago, yes, we can get you solar panels. Then we went to, we'll pre-wire the units for solar panels. And now we have a tremendous number of RVs, both motorized and especially Class Bs and van campers, smaller travel trailers up to the fifth wheels. Guess what? They're coming right standard equipment with solar panels.
Standard equipment.
So it's adopted. Yep, it's there.
So we got a great show for you today, folks. Stay with us. We'll be back with 2 great stories right here on
the Camper Report Show.
I'm Jesse from Outsiders Calling, and I love adventurous family travel with my wife Jenny and our son Tucker.
For over 3 years, we've RV'd across the US and Mexico, and it's tough to find places that meet all our needs.
Now we plan our trips with the RV Trip Wizard, pull it up in the RV Life app, select it, and go.
It helps us discover amazing new places to grow together as a family.
RV Trip Wizard with the RV Life app is an awesome trip planning combination.
You can get both for one low annual price. Check out rvlife.com to learn more.
All right, welcome back everybody to the Camper Report Show. And today my guest is Scott Reid, CEO of Dormeo US. Scott, tell us about the company a little bit.
Well, thank you, Bob, for asking me to come today. Dormeo is celebrating its 20th year officially from January of next year. It originated from Belgium, Europe. They were manufacturing this unique OctaSpring technology out of Italy when they first started, and hence that's one of the reasons why the name Dormeo came out. And we brought the brand to the United States about 8 years ago, and Canada as well. So it's a long history, but one of the a little shorter in North America.
Well, it's interesting because our view is, and people are comfortable at home, and then they get into the RV and they don't have a real comfortable mattress. So when you look at it from a standpoint of functionality, and you've got some patented technology, what makes it so uniquely different, and why do you feel that the RV market is something that you're going to be very successful at?
So this patented technology that you spoke of is called the OctaSpring, right? And it's a technology that gives you the benefit of support of a spring, but comfort of foam. And springs give you pressure points, and foam kind of sinks in and gets stuck. And so they each have their pros and cons, but when you put the two concepts together, you get this really nice feeling, supportive yet comfy feel. And so no one has the OctaSpring, only Dormeo owns the patent for the OctaSpring. And the other unique thing about it is that it allows you to build a topper or a mattress with different zones of densities of foam. And so we studied long and hard and try to figure out what was the best support needed for your hips, which are heavier, versus your shoulders, where you want a little bit more give, because as we age, we get that sore shoulder, right? So we have zones in our beds and toppers that have different support, and you can't do that with really any other mattress technology. Foam beds, you can't do that. It's just a solid piece of foam. Traditional spring coils, all the springs are the same.
The other thing that you've done is you have made RV specific products. Now, a lot of people try to come into the RV industry and they try to make an existing product work in a non-existing environment that it wasn't really made for. Talk about the different sizes that you have and what's coming down the line.
So when we first launched our topper, for example, in 2019, we've been selling, high-end luxury mattresses that were competing with Tempur-Pedic since 2014, I think it was, when we started in the States. And we have those still, and we have those in Canada as well. The first request we had, which we heard every day, people were commenting and saying, I love my topper, I need one for my RV. And it was RV short queen. So that was, rather than 60/80, which is a standard queen, it was 60/75, and that fit RV short queen standards. And then when we launched that last year, it sold very well. And the next request we had was RV short king. We said, okay, let's make that. So we have a standard king, which is 76/80, and then we have the Cal king. But now we brought in an RV short king, which is 72. It's narrower, and then 75 shorter. So we started selling that at the beginning of this summer, and within about 10 days they sold out. And so we knew that, okay, I think there's actually a bigger demand for RV short king than there was RV short queen. And then the voice said, well, I saw you had an RV Short King, but we need an RV King. And so we said, okay. So we came up with the 7280. So now at the end of this month, and starting to ship at the beginning of October, we'll have 3 sizes: the RV Short Queen, 60 by 75, the RV Short King, 72 by 75, and then the RV King, which is 72 by 80. So those are 3 unique sizes for the RV market.
So you've done really well in the year that you've been introducing your products to the RV consumer. You've done extremely well, and you've gotten an awful lot of attention. Now I think you're selling direct. How are you marketing the product?
It's in Canada. We are our mattresses are in 300 retail stores with one of the largest specialty mattress retailers in Canada. But in the United States, it's 100% direct to consumer. So we are advertising on social digital media. We advertise on TV. And so we're creating awareness through the stories that we tell, the benefits of our products and unique technology through digital ads or TV ads. And we're driving people to our website or to our store at Amazon. And so those are really the only 2 channels that and we own those channels. It's us who are selling to the consumer. It's our in-house customer care team that's talking to the consumer. And so we deliver this different, amazing customer experience because we're in control of it, because we love our brand and we love helping people to sleep better.
That's a good philosophy. Now, we'll put some pictures down below of the products and the information for them to get in touch with the company itself. Do you plan on doing any RV shows, consumer RV shows? I just got back from the big Hershey show in Pennsylvania. I think they're going to break all attendance records this year. I probably had about 60,000 people there. But what's your philosophy or your plans to do any RV shows, which consumers love, by the way?
So, this product, this topper, is relatively, the technology is 20 years old, but this model of topper that we're launching was 2019. We had one before, which didn't have a zone in the model. We sold that about 7 years ago in the United States. But this model is relatively new. 2019 it was launched. This year has been really focusing on our direct-to-consumer business, and I would love in 2021 as well. And then I would love to learn more from you, Bob, about how could we get Dormeo's brand and products into the RV enthusiasts through shows. It's not something that I'm doing right now, but 2022, I think we should definitely put that in our plans.
Yeah, and we'll certainly be in communication with you on a lot of that. What about the product guarantee? I think you got a unique guarantee.
So there's two guarantees. Number one, we give a 100-night risk-free trial, and if we want people to try our product, and we're very confident, yet humble, that you'll love it. And we want people to try it. And so as a direct-to-consumer company, you can't go into a store and feel our products. We make it really easy for people to try our product. We say, try our product for at least 30 nights, because it takes a little bit of time for your body to adjust. I kind of explain it like a new pair of shoes. The topper kind of works itself in after a week or so, right? So we want you to try it for 30 nights. And if you don't like it, you can get your money back. 100% of your money will come back through our return process. So that's one guarantee. The second guarantee is it comes with a 10-year, limited warranty, manufacturing defects as such. So it's a very quality product. We've run it through testing. There's life cycle testing that you do. There's standards for that. It passed, and so we were comfortable to give a 10-year warranty.
The 30 days is unique, and I like your philosophy about, because it is true. I've had many mattresses in my life, but it does take a while for the body to adjust and to get used to them. So you're confident enough that, hey, in 30 days you're probably not going to return it. We have 9 to 10 million RVs on the road at any one time, and a lot of them, yes, we're selling about 500,000 new ones a year. But when people buy a used or pre-owned RV, it's well known that the very first thing that they replace is the mattress. Now, it may be that they don't have to replace the mattress. They just have to put one of your toppers on top of it. So to get the best of both worlds. But yeah, and I'll tell you, it's even true on new ones. Some of the mattresses that they put they're not home type mattresses, and consumers want the same type of experience on the road. When you're selling 500,000 RVs a year, there's a lot of consumers. 50% of our buyers last year were first-time buyers. So they come into it thinking that I have a nice bed at home, I'll have a nice bed in my RV. And many times that's not the case. They're built as temporary, units. You only use them 3 or 4 times a year, maybe a couple of weekends a year and a week's vacation. So they don't think that, hey, it's not going to be the same mattress that you have at home. So you've got a really good message in terms of how the consumer should be looking at this product. And it will not be unusual for people buying brand new RVs to either replace them right away with one of your mattresses, or at least put a topper on top of that so that they can get that same quality night's sleep that they have at home.
Now you can get the luxurious, feel of your home bed in your RV, okay? And a lot of people bought our topper to put on top of their current RV mattress, which they weren't happy with. And I've read so many comments from people saying, now I have to get one for my home because my RV bed is now more comfortable than my home.
Any closing comments, Scott? And I appreciate you coming on the show today.
I just want to say I appreciate you having me, and you mentioned about all of your experience with the RV enthusiasts market, and so I would love to learn more and love to learn how we can, in 2022, help more people sleep better when they're relaxing and enjoying their RV. So thank you.
We will have more conversations. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
Wonderful.
Mike here from RV Blogger. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on an external GPS for your RV. All you need to do is download the RV Life app right onto your phone. This app is so cool. It has RV GPS built right into it. So you can load all the specific measurements and weights for your RV. It'll give you directions safe for your RV to follow. And by the way, if you have RV Trip Wizard, directions for your trips upload into this GPS automatically.
Hey everybody, it's John DePietro. Welcome back to the Camper Report Show. And there is a whole bunch of talk in the news these days about so many people getting into RVing, some for the first time and some for the second and third time, but there are more and more RVers on the road today. And we want to talk about the new RVer. So we're here with George and Donna. George, you're a doctor.
I am.
Okay. An active doctor. You're not a retiree.
Nope. I'm an active emergency physician in Florida.
Yeah. And you said you like this. Actually, Donna, the reason that you said you liked RVing so much was what?
When I come home at night, I know I'm climbing into clean sheets.
Clean sheets,
It's
right?
my place. It's my
Your own bathroom, and talk a little louder.
My own bathroom, my own things. I'm surrounded by my own things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. George, in your situation where you're getting medical calls all the time, but that's not the hospital, right?
No, it wasn't.
No.
I already checked.
Okay. Okay. There aren't a lot of doctors that you run into on the RV trail, but you've got a love for this. Did you ever think you'd like RVing as much as you do now?
No, I really didn't to begin with. But once we found our unit, it's complete love because we get to go wherever we want in our home.
In our home. And that's so important because people have read today, with this COVID stuff with, wearing masks and rubber gloves and going into public places.
Right.
It's an issue, right, Donna?
It is an issue, and I'm glad we had our RV because we kept traveling and we didn't have to worry about it. We could be secluded in our camper and still travel and hike and all the wonderful things we like to do.
So, George, what has been your most funnest? Now, I know that's not proper language or English, but what has been your most funnest, the thing you've had the most fun with in your, how many years you've been on the road?
5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Most fun.
I don't know.
I mean, the problem with most fun is that's why we love camping, and this because we can do multiple things. We can go. We live in Florida, so I can be on the beach in Florida with our camper if we decide to. I can be in the mountains of North Carolina, and so I can enjoy it there. I can be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or if we decide to go to Colorado, and I can. We have an actual boondocking setup in which I have 8 solar panels and 6 paddleboard batteries. So if we want to go to a national park with no one around, I can go boondock.
You don't need the full hookups or
I don't
anything
need
like
a
that.
full hookup.
Yeah.
And it's just, but it's my place.
It's the freedom. It's the freedom.
The freedom. Define what you mean, Donna, by freedom.
We can get up and go where we want to, when we want to, and there's no constrictions. We don't have to secure hotel rooms or anything else. We just get in the unit and off we go.
Okay, let me just change the topic just a little bit. Talk about the variety of people that you meet, either at campgrounds or here we're at a rally for a specific brand, and everybody says the people are magic. Donna, you've got a smile from ear to ear. Are the people special to you?
They are. You always find wonderfully kind people when you're camping. And we have made so many friends along the way. It is magical. It truly is.
George, in your case, once people find out you're a doctor, do they immediately tell you what their current ailment is?
Can I talk to you about my knee? Or they jokingly they do. I've really never been approached with a true medical question to speak of, because campers really do respect you and what you do, and they don't want to intrude, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah. And you do run into a wide variety of demographics and occupations and backgrounds and education.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's a widely diverse group.
Yes.
What would you say to people that are on the fence about, you know what, I'm thinking of buying an RV, but I'm not sure. I want to wait till I retire. That attitude.
Don't wait till you retire. If you want to see the United States of America, Canada, Alaska, Mexico, wherever, join in. It's a lot of fun. It is just a blast. There are so many things that you're missing out on if you stay flying in the air and go from city to city.
Yeah. Don, any specific place that you've visited with the RV that you may not have visited if you were just doing fly and hotel vacations?
Oh yes, because we do a lot of hiking. So we've been in a lot of remote campgrounds where we can hike the mountains, and I think that's been wonderful for us.
Yeah. So George, just going back to that question about waiting, I mean, being an ER doc, okay, or let me just be more politically correct, emergency medical professional, you've seen people all ages come into the hospital and not make it out, or make it out with issues that will take away their opportunity to enjoy the rest of their life.
Correct.
Which to me would say, do it now while you can.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. You never know what tomorrow will bring.
That's the truth.
Never know what
Is the
tomorrow.
problem. You never know.
Okay, so speaking of tomorrow with you guys, after this event is over, what are your plans?
We have a trip planned directly from here to Tennessee, home for 2 weeks, and then we're heading up to Maine for a month.
Oh, you're going down. Got to let the dog out, right?
Gotta let the dog
Got to
out.
let the dog out.
Okay, we got to make a little money.
We
Okay.
gotta make a little money, see the kids quick, and then we can head back out.
Let me clear something up, folks. For the dog lovers out there, it was just a joke. They didn't leave their dog at home without food or anything like that. But whereabouts in Tennessee?
Actually, on the west side, it's called Huntington, Tennessee. It's a little city where my brother lives. So we're
Over
going
in the
to visit
Memphis
It's
area?
right between Memphis and Nashville. Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean ribs?
Oh, we got a lot of pulled pork.
Barbecue. Good barbecue.
Yeah.
Good barbecue.
Good
there.
barbecue.
Okay, so you are going there because it's on your way back from here, that if you had flown into here, into Elkhart, and flown back, you wouldn't do it. But
Yeah, it would
because
not
you
happen.
have the RV, you've got that capability, right?
Yes, exactly.
And when you go to your brother's, you don't borrow a bedroom or anything like that? You park in
No.
their yard, or?
You know, sometimes like my son and daughter have actually set up a hookup, so when we go see them, we can park in their yard.
Good old mooch docking.
Yep.
Mooch docking,
Mooch
right?
docking.
Mooch docking.
But my brother, there's a campground nearby, so we'll stay in a campground. We have our own unit to stay in, so that's nice. You know, we have to go home to at night
And because you've got the truck,
we can go and
you
come as we like.
can unhook the vehicle,
Right.
and it's kind of
It's very convenient.
best
very
of all.
Convenient, yes.
So the plan is to go up to the great state of Maine. Are you gonna do the express bus to Maine, or are you gonna slowly make your way up I-95, or do you?
Yes, no, we are not doing 95.
Ah, that was my next
We
question.
are not doing 95. We're
No.
going 26 through Charlotte,
Yep.
right?
Up
And
to
then
Columbia. Yep.
Yep.
77,
77 up through Virginia,
81.
Yep.
west,
that's the
you
road
know,
we're taking.
Pennsylvania,
Yep.
New York, and then over through New Hampshire, Vermont.
Oh, you are really taking.
Oh,
Oh, we
going.
are
road.
staying
We
out
are
of the
going,
cities.
Yes.
So right. Does that give you, again, let's go back to the doc thing. There's stress in that work. When you're in your RV, is your blood pressure normal again?
That's why we started. That was one of the reasons we started. It is
Say
a
that.
beautiful break.
It-
We started the RVing really to get him away from that
Right.
hospital.
It is. It's a,
Because it's a break where he can put all of that behind
where we,
him.
yeah.
So you
it
don't
is.
end up in the wrong side of the hospital.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
that's very interesting.
No,
And
it
there
is.
are people that now, because of COVID, have the capability to not have to go to an office every day. And they say that they're rejuvenated in their work because they can work from home. And so many people we encounter on the road are working full time, regardless of what their occupation is, remotely from
Correct.
their unit.
Correct. They're taking like tables and even this and putting a desk
Yep.
And make it
right
into an
here
office.
and make it an office, and they're just you
They're
can meet
happy
several.
with it.
They're happy.
You don't have a gurney on the back of yours.
I've got a little clinic right in the
Oh,
front.
you could be the mobile doc. The mobile
A
doc.
little clinic.
So we
No,
want-
I don't have that.
Anything else you want to say to anybody, regardless of their occupation, age, or whether they're from north, south, east, or west, about
If
your-
you're on the fence, all right. If you're on the fence and you're really not 100% sure, try a rental. Really, try a rental. Try it. Get out there, experience it. Don't be afraid. Ask questions. Even if you rent it and go to a campground, I can guarantee you the campers out there will help you and answer your questions.
especially when you're trying to back up a travel trailer. The
Oh
first-
my gosh, you'll have more help
Okay.
on that than anything else.
So, have you ever had any family squabbles when one of you is driving, the other is directing the other one in?
Minor skirmishes
Just-
here and
just
there,
real
but
minor.
not too bad.
Not too bad.
Actually,
you
at
didn't tell
first-
me that tree was there, right?
No, at first we did, but we have it down pat now. At first there was a problem, but now we have our jobs and it works out perfectly.
It does.
most of
It
the time.
does.
Yeah.
George and Donna, we want to thank you so much for
Our pleasure.
sharing your RV experience with the world,
Our pleasure.
and wish you the best as you go from Indiana to Tennessee to Florida to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and back.
And back
And
again.
back.
Great. Have a great time.
Thank you so much.